And welcome to another video of the Target Individual Program, the Target Individual Experience. These videos I'm going to compile into one. I've uploaded them individually on my YouTube channel so you guys can see. But I'm going to put them together. It's going to be shorter, and all those videos are going to be comprised into one video, which I am doing right now. I'm going to talk about my targeting. So again, uh, showing compelling evidence of gang stalking, police harassment and intimidation, noise campaign by employees of the city, whether it be police, uh, ambulances, and fire trucks, fire department, of all conspire, engage in harassment, engage in conspiracy against my rights. And it's not just those entities like law enforcement, fire department, EMTs. We're talking about everyday citizens and those who live in the United States, whether legally or illegally, who have been paid, who have been coerced into engaging in this type of behavior against me and others like me as TIs, and family members, right, who've also engaged in these types of behavior. And these types of programs is nothing new. Uh, the Russians had a similar program called Zoom in East Berlin, or East Germany, during the so-called Cold War. And the East German government did the same thing to a lot of its citizens who they have destroyed their lives, their livelihood, their relationships, and their mentality. So, without further ado, let's begin. So I talked about coercive persuasion programming. You guys had me speak about this over and over again, understanding what is being done, what has been done, and what continues to be done. And the fact that the state, the government have been experimenting, have been using, and have been conducting illegal psychological experiment as well as medical experiment and technological experiment, illegally implanting individuals with microchip for the purpose of remote neural monitoring. And they've engaged in these tactics for many reasons, uh, like, for instance, to silence dissidents, to experiment on people as a means to finding out whether they can control someone using various methods, and whether they can silence someone uh, who, using subliminal messages, tell that individual that they have been implanted, and the things that happen around those individual. The individual believes that he or she has been implanted, and then using people, using situations that they have created, using honey traps to either uh, promise money for their silence. If they're not silenced, use individuals to create false narrative and to falsely accuse. Not also that, but using various groups of individuals, male and female, to try to entrap the individual in order to blackmail them into silence. And they have been trying to do this to me for many years in terms of trying to silence me, and I would not. I already explained to them the only two reasons. So let's continue on with the video. So I'm not going to read about coercive persuasion programming and mind control. You guys can read that. I'm just going to scroll down. You guys can pause the video at any time to read the tactics and the method of coercive persuasion programming. as well as on this website, psychologicalharassment.com. We talk about also the methods, right? The what is called, so I can find it here, um, psychological manipulation, okay, and induce psychological illness, okay. I'm gonna try not to make this video too long because yeah, I gotta get some rest. But I want to play certain things and just talk about how they've been talking to me. So lately, they have been trying to send me subliminal message about my second son, Ethan, not being my son. They did this to me for a number of years with my older son, Bryce, who I barely speak to anymore. I call him, he doesn't call me back. Um, totally ignores my call and my texts. And so, there's nothing I can do about that. So now they're trying to do the same thing with my younger son, trying to send me a message about he's not my son. So I showed a video where I was walking home one night and there were three police officers surrounding someone. I couldn't see until I got close. Then, as I got close, the three police officer turned around and started walking away. And there's this young kid, very young kid. He has my son complexion, which is very light skinned, um, compared to um, Bryce and my daughter Alyssa, they have my complexion, right? But my son Ethan has a lighter complexion than his mother and I, and so they've been using these light skinned uh, kids or young teenagers or young preteen in order to insinuate that my son is not my son. And what they've been also doing is not only are they using these preteens and these young teenagers, but they also use these light skinned men, um, mostly Hispanic, right? And to try to insinuate that that Ethan's not my son and he's somebody else's son. So, uh, with that being said, I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I mean, I signed this birth certificate. I helped raise them. I basically raised them majority of the time by myself, right? From the time he was 4 until 10 years old, and things happen, they got the coronavirus, stuff like that. So they spend the majority of the time with their mother now at her house. But I do go over there. So, I'm still their primary caretaker. Okay. So, yeah, so this is what they've been doing. And that caused me to uh, do some research. And I remember a video of these two women who claim that I shouldn't say claim who have been harassed and stalked, who homes have been broken into. One of the women said that they had drugged them was having sex with her. Okay, and we know this, and particularly speaking about my talk going to NYPD, a lot of NYPD police officers who knows about coercive uh, persuasion tactics and manipulation and brainwashing have done these things, right? I was reading an article a couple of years back of a young man who there's this police officer, and it's sad that it's a black police officer who was threatening this mother that he would send her son to prison if she didn't have sex with him. And this happens all the time in the NYPD. So when people participate in this and when the police participate in this, I'm not surprised because they are a criminal entity and a criminal gang, and they get others to participate in that crime, making them core criminals and co-conspirators, right? So therefore, they have some lever on those individuals, right? Because once you get them to engage in criminal activity that you are engaging in, then you become a criminal. So therefore, if they try to turn you in, they'll be arrested. And this is how they entrap people into these types of criminal behavior, right? Particularly, we're talking about those within the police department, right? Okay, so let's actually let's play the this video. This video is from 2010. All right, this is from a woman who lived in San Antonio, and this is her experience and her story about being gang stalked.
Well, maybe you sensed it, that feeling that you're being watched. Well, the state has laws against stalking on the books, making it a felony.
What if police don't recognize it? And what if it's a complete stranger who's bothering you? Tonight, Joe Conger and the I-Team investigates.
Cynthia Verbeff is moving. Her home, she says, has become a house of horrors.
I feel that I've lost my mind, I've lost my life.
Incident reports from law enforcement tell the tale. Numerous break-ins at the address, vandalism to her car, her motorcycle, her computer. Verbeff believes she's being targeted.
Everything, they just went through everything.
But sheriff's detectives had little to go on because the vandals, though often destructive, stole nothing. Even from her portable safe drilled into and torn apart,
So here's this woman providing proof. And the reason why they talk about the police having nothing to go by is because the police are involved in it. The police are the ones that control these groups. Okay? Understand this. The police are the ones that control this group on the ground level. Right? But the police take their instructions and order from high ups. Right? So whether it be within the FBI or the CIA, the DOJ, these security agencies and law enforcement agencies have been creating technologies for mind control or for what they claim to be investigative tools, right? But they're not investigative tools. Okay? That's the falsity, and they will always claim that. But they are more nefarious means, right, behind the creation of these technologies.
contents, the jewelry, remained untouched. Verbeff says her troubles didn't start until she met these two men. One would become her ex-boyfriend, the other was his partner in a San Antonio pain clinic, Dr. John Hall.
Very first time I met him, we went to his house on 4th of July, and he told.
Also, the name John have been used many times throughout my targeting. And I remember Bryce's mom, she had a friend named John, right? And Pam also has a friend named John. Now, I'm not going to go into speculation that they could be the same person or not. But I know the fact is that there are times in my targeting where that name always pop up, right? And it's always in particular times when things are happening. And this person, John Hall here, this is Dr. John Hall, who was he is an anesthesiologist, and he wrote a book called A New Breed, uh, Terrorist Stalking in America.
Told me that because I was already there in his house, I would be the next victim that I was going to be stalked.
Verbeff found the doctor's prophecy to be correct. She suffered months of oddness.
Coming in through the front door, and I touch the doorknob, and it just falls into pieces.
Lights left on, doors open, furniture moved, her clothes dryer disassembled. Her friends say they noticed the strange happenings. They tell the I-Team they even witnessed a gas oven left turned on.
As soon as you walk in the house, you'd smell gas in the house. So the whole house smelled from gas. So
okay, now because I live with my sister, a lot of the stuff doesn't happen to me. Some of it do, okay, but I do get targeted by family members. For example, they will leave stuff in front of my door, right? They will leave containers on the floor in the kitchen late at night. They will leave the microwave open, okay? And the reason, particularly for the microwave, because they love to use the time of the microwave. They will leave like 3 seconds on the microwave, 10 seconds in the microwave, 1 second on the microwave, those sort of thing, and just leave the microwave open, right? Because there's a number game that they play in which they psychologically condition you to believe certain things.
immediately turned it off and opened up the doors, but I mean, that thing doesn't just turn on by itself. And it had been running for a good length of time.
Or the time Verbeff and a friend say they were stalked at a mall.
I saw him following us to several stores, and I would see the man close to us, looking at us.
The girls had the presence of mind to snap a photo with their phone. Verbeff says all these happenings culminated in an assault. The 39-year-old believes someone drugged the food in her home and returned later to rape her.
I know something happened to me because a woman knows.
She filed a
Okay. Now, this part right here, I remember that when she said she was had drug or food in the home. There are times when I'm being targeted, and people will target me. They'll have like the keys, in their hands, right? And send me a subliminal message that they have keys to my apartment and keys to Pam's apartment, right? And but again, I'm just like, I've learned not to be afraid because that is what they want. It is fear based. And if they're going to poison you, they're going to poison you anyway. They're going to drug you anyway. I have been drugged at the restaurant. I have been poisoned at the restaurants. And so that's the reason why, like, for example, I used to eat at IHOP. I have stopped eating at IHOP after eating at IHOP 4 times in a row and got food poisoning. And my kids were with me. And my kids didn't get food poisoning. It was only me. Okay? And also being drugged while having dinner at a restaurant. Because they'll drug you and then you'll have a car accident. Right? Because that's what they're hoping.
report and was briefly hospitalized with signs of sexual assault. Dr. Hall says what Verbeff describes is known as...
Now you see here, she had signs of sexual assault. I remember one morning I also woke up and went to use the bathroom and I had anal bleeding. And I think I did a video on there. I've done some of the videos, so you guys will have to go back and search. But yeah, that's what happened to me one day. All right, one morning as I woke up.
gang stalking. Indeed, he writes about it in his book, A New Breed, Satellite Terrorism in America. Verbeff is not alone. Others in San Antonio have contacted the I-Team and described similar types of occurrences.
The urine arsenic is above normal. We shouldn't have arsenic.
Linda Johnson says someone poisoned her water supply with heavy metals in northwest San Antonio. Then there's her story about the bracelet that went missing, then reappeared. Police, she says, have stopped...
And this is what they do to me too. They'll take my things, and I can't find it, and I'll come back later, and they'll place it in the most obvious spot, right? That is called gaslighting.
Listening to her. And like Verbeff, she too believes she's been sexually assaulted, although she never filed a police report.
I've gone to doctors many times, and I've been to the Rape Crisis Center for counseling, yes.
Many of these so-called victims of what Hall describes as gang stalking meet up on the internet, finding comfort and information from others who say they too suffer from electronic stalking, mind control, and even rape. Loosely defined, gang stalking is where organized groups target and harass unwilling victims to the point of paranoia, leaving the victims to deal with skeptical family members and skeptical law enforcement.
This isn't stalking done by a former spouse or former boyfriend or someone that you know that's disgruntled at you, but stalking that's being done by total strangers in an organized fashion.
And some internet links take you here to the book mentioned earlier, written by Dr. John Hall.
The book is...
I'm going to end this here because I want to play this other video. Here's another mom in San Diego.
It's the thing nightmares are made of.
You know, it's so creepy that I decided to have a bolt put on the door, and I'm having my son sleep in here with me.
Creepy only begins to describe it.
It's like an alternate reality, really.
When she'd get home from work, Fasika Tafara started noticing things out of place in her home.
You know, they were just all open, but what was weird is, so for example, they were open like this, but they were all at the same level.
First, the windows, then lights turned on, her cabinets pulled out.
It's intended to let me know that somebody has been here, essentially, right? So all of the drawers have been pulled out. And
something strange every single day for almost the past month. She finally realized someone has been coming inside.
Are people following me? And then I started to wonder also, well, how do they know when I'm here and when I'm not here?
Then Tafara found this small camera in her 11-year-old son's bedroom. So she took to the internet and started digging. What she found? Something called community or gang stalking. It's an eerie practice aimed at your psyche to make you almost feel like you're going crazy.
It's spooky, and my understanding is that if this is in fact what it is, it can go on for years, you know.
Only you're not. Tafara left her phone recording audio at her house. Listen, you can hear what sounds like people rummaging around. On one, you can hear what sounds like drilling.
So this hole here has been cut into the attic space.
Tafara says detectives have been to the house.
It's kind of like, you know, if it happens again, call us, but there's not much we can do.
Something that makes this even more terrifying.
Mm-hmm. And see, and this is the reason why they get away with it, right? Particularly the police, because we are going to the very same people who are engaging and are the controllers of these individuals, these civilians, right? And they giving them our information. And not just our information, but the psychological ways and means to target us. Okay? And they will always say, well, if it happens again, call back. Or if you go there personally, like I have, they'll tell you, go see a professional. That's, you know, because again, it's plausible deniability, right? So, yes. So, I've been telling this to people all through the years, and they don't want to believe me. But I think they believe me. They know what's going on. A lot of them are involved in it. Okay? And if they're not involved in it, they're afraid to speak out. You know? But people don't believe that whole communities would do things like this. Okay? But I just want you to watch this video.
Neighbors, but an entire town? Think how annoyed you get when just one person honks at you. Now imagine all your neighbors driving by sitting on that horn.
Now, when I talk about the noise campaign, you guys see in my video and hear in my video, this is what I'm talking about here.
Horn 24/7. Are they tormenting one family, or did that family wear out its welcome? We want you to decide. Here's Paula Ferris.
Of all the homes in Hubbard, Ohio, it might be the last one you'd expect folks to fight over. But this vacant house on East Liberty Street is the hottest property since good old Nehemiah Hubbard founded the town 200 years ago. Oh, what a fuss over a little fixer-upper.
This all started in 2007 over a simple real estate deal, correct?
Right. It was the property next door here.
Meet Rick and Cindy Kurlich, longtime Hubbard residents. They say all they wanted was to buy the property next door. The only problem? It wasn't for sale. These folks, John and Marlene Clementi, had inherited half the house. The other half was tied up in court. But Rick Kurlich tried to buy it anyway, even though it had been in the Clementi family for generations.
I says, well, you're not getting my land. And I said, that's not right. It's my family since 1922. How could you do that?
The Clement family called me up and they told me to take my bid off the table. And if I didn't take my bid off the table, we'd be bitter enemies for life.
Rick never got the house, but he says he's still paying for what he did. As the town fire chief, Clementi had lots of friends, and suddenly Rick and Cindy say it seemed like every single one of them was driving by honking the horn, and it wasn't to say hello.
The Clement family conspired together to organize a horn-blowing campaign against us. That's really what this is all about.
Ask not for whom the horn blows, it blows for Rick and Cindy Kurlich.
In the beginning, it was 100 times a day.
100 times a day.
100.
So they began planning their payback. Their house now bristles with expensive surveillance cameras. As we were looking them over, just watch what happened.
The last camera is down here on the tree.
Okay. Oh, somebody just honked their horn. Did you hear that?
Yeah, it's never
Was that
ending.
a friendly honk?
Probably not.
Okay.
Rick says his ear is now finely attuned.
And this is what happens to me with my targeting, how I can hear like distinctive call horns, right? Particularly when I'm under remote door monitoring. So if I'm thinking certain things, if I'm like if I'm in the house and they have me under surveillance, to where if I touch the the metal part of the sink, right? Car honk. If I run my hands under the water, car honking. Certain things like if I'm thinking about money, then I hear police sirens, right? So this is part of, especially my targeting, is to particularly drive you insane, criminalize you, or eventually make you commit suicide, right? Or make you lash out on someone so you can assault them and then they can arrest you. I had another TI friend who I was telling about this, and I said, you have to be very careful because they will set you up. They will do things to aggravate you and agitate you and get you to lash out physically, and then the police will be right there around the corner waiting to arrest you. And it happened. It happened. Particularly a couple months later, he was walking in Manhattan, and this gang stalker, okay, as he was approaching him, the gang stalker clenched his fist and bumped into him. And so the TI, he started brawling with the gang stalker. And before you know it, right around the corner, there was the police there. And everybody around them, which was all part, they were all part of it. They were like, they claimed that he's the one that initiated. So when he had to go to court, right, he hired a lawyer. The lawyer tried to take his money and not represent him properly, right? Tell him that he don't believe him. So I said to him, you need to tell that lawyer that you're going to report him to the bar association, right? And so that's what he did. And the lawyer ended up giving him back his money. And I said to him, I said, go get a legal aid lawyer because you're going to pay these lawyers money and they're going to basically take your money. They're not going to represent you properly because they're going to be compromised. And that's exactly what happened. So he ended up getting a legal aid lawyer. And I said, what you need to do, explain to the legal aid lawyer how you are a targeted individual and how these things are set up, right, in order to incarcerate people and drive them insane and make them commit suicide, ultimately destroying their lives. And I said to him, I will go to court with you, right? Because he went to court a couple of times. Okay. When I told him I would go to court with him to explain to the judge what is happening, he said that the lawyer called him and said that they dropped the charge without prejudice. They dropped the case. Okay. Yeah. This is very serious here.
You can tell an import horn from a domestic horn.
Who are these horn blowers? Not just people in the town, but people who work
Good
for
luck.
the town.
Fire trucks.
Firefighters, including some from the department John Clementi ran, and police. Here's one of Hubbard Township's finest, not serving, not protecting, just honking. It's enough to wake the dead.
Except for me, they use the sirens, right? And the particular signs like whoop, or whoop whoop.
Caught 10 times. And would you look at this? The horn on the bus goes and educate.
So again, when people try to say, if you're a TI, that you're crazy and people don't do these things, what have you, there's actually proof out there that it does happen. So don't let nobody tell you that it doesn't happen. Okay? So now, so again, and then with the psychological manipulation comes in, and particularly because if you're a microchip or you've been experimenting on with these energy weapons and they want to discredit you, they will use many different things. They will use, they will condition you negatively. They will use dark sarcasms and negativity. They will make you feel like you're in constant state of interrogation, right? With indirect communications and psychological disorders, which I'm going to show you in this video. Okay, condition with sounds, right? Identification words or trigger words. Okay, rejections, which during my relationship with Pam, they were heavily engaging her with me in rejection. Okay, degrading themes. They try to use As grading themes, inducing degrading images and intrusive thoughts, the pedophilia weapon, right? Um, the deception to prevent exposure, because this is what they're trying to do. See, all these cops that you see been harassing me lately, again, it's to try to shut me up, right? To try to prevent me from doing these videos. But every time they do it, I end up doing the video. Okay, so it doesn't shut me down because I understand what's being done. Okay, so these things you can read: psychological warfare, manipulation, and covert type investigation. Um, Psychological warfare credibility. Okay, psychological warfare pattern: homelessness, brainwashing, and deceiving and conditioning the fight or flight to mean fear. So, spear campaigns, strategies, um, what they call a criminal harassment network. You guys can read up all of this stuff on the psychologicalharassment.com website. So now let's go to the, actually, don't go to the video yet. There is one more thing that I want to bring up. And again, when I talk about these types of weapons, directed energy weapons, mind control weapons, people tend not to want to believe and think that these things don't exist. So let's go to an actual document, and I've provided many documents, okay, from the CIA. This is the CIA, excuse me, and this is from the Congressional Record. This is August 2nd, 1976. Now, listen how long ago this was. 1976, and it was approved, was declassified and approved for release 2012. Okay, and here, as much as they want to tell you that direct energy, microwave energy, radio wave energy or frequencies doesn't do you harm, it's all a lie. Our cell phone is causing us harm. When we talk on our cell phone and we have that cell phone up next to our brain, our ears, that's microwave radiation. Okay? Oh, radio wave radiation. And it is harmful. But they will lie and say that it is not. They will say that, oh, there is inconclusive evidence to show, or the exposure is too little, right? But I know firsthand, not from my experience, but I remember when Pam used to sleep with her cell phone next to her at night, and I used to tell her, I said, listen, you should not be sleeping with these things next to you. Okay, put them on the table side next to you. Do not sleep with them next to you. And she slept with her cell phone in her bed, and she ended up getting a tumor. And I ended up finding the tumor because she didn't even know. And I found the tumor. All right, and she had to get it removed. Okay, same thing. Me, I have a tumor. It's a benign tumor in my nostril, and again, that's because of the microchip. And it was placed through the nostrils, through the nasal passage, which is a direct pathway to the brain. So they can insert a microchip with a very long needle into your brain. Okay, and they do it through the nasal cavity. Okay, so here they're talking about microwave radiation. All right, and I'm going to read this. So it says microwave radiation, to borrow a phrase, is not healthy for children and other living things, including State Department employees in Moscow. See what happened during the late 60s to the late 70s, the Russians were microwaving the American embassy. The United States government knew about it. The State Department knew about it. In 1968, they did a sweep of the embassy for bugs, and they picked up on the signal. And instead of removing their employees or asking the Russians to stop, they decided that they were going to let it go on, right, and study the effect of microwave radiation on the human body. And what happens is a lot of State Department employees got cancer, suffered psychological illnesses, and other issues, right? And so what happened recently in the past couple of years with the In China and Cuba, it's the same thing. And the United States cover it up by trying to say that these things don't exist when they know damn well that it does. Because the evidence and the information is right on the CIA website. Okay? So we're talking about, so it says here, right? So Mr. Koch asked and was given permission to address the House for 1 minute, to revise and extend his remark to include extraneous matter. Mr. Koch, Mr. Speaker, an article appeared in July 27 New York Times confirming the existence of tests conducted for 18 months during 1967 to 1968 to detect genetic damage on State Department employees who worked in Moscow during the 1960s. The reason for the test, kept secret from the employees, was to determine the effect of microwave radiation beamed at the U.S. Embassy in Moscow. Dr. Cecil B. Jackson, who oversaw the analysis of the State Department test samples by a laboratory at George Washington University, said of the results, things were never conclusive. So this is what they say. This is when the uh, American scientists, right, at universities who are paid, right, who receive grants from the government, they don't tell the truth. They lie to cover stuff up or to minimize the legality and also the damage of these things, right? That bothers me. It bothers me that this radiation, which has been going on in excess of 15 years, continue in the absence of conclusive evidence. Statistics show that radiation is harmful to one's health. Yet the State Department does not care enough about its staff, about the health of its employees, to call for an immediate halt to such radiation. I am calling for the halt. Okay? And again, you can find these information on the website, the CIA website. There are tons of information there. All right. So don't let them lie to you, because this is what they're doing. They are lying. Okay. They know what's going on. Okay. They know damn well what's going on. They've also allowed and given the technology to police departments across America. They've given X-ray technologies, see-through wall technologies, right? They've drugs. Okay. So, and we all know, especially I live in New York, and the New York City Police Department is called the baby CIA, and it's called that for a reason. Okay. All right. Uh, so let's go to the video. Okay, so I gotta remember to keep looking at my the screen to make sure that the camera is on the rear-facing camera, because okay, so this is after what they did to me yesterday. But I had uploaded a video of us walking home, and like I was talking about the 3 police officers who was surrounding someone, couldn't see, and then as I walked off, as I got closer, they walked off, and this little kid, you know, walked away looking at me, they looking down at my phone, right? And I had a verbal engagement with the police officers, and it's a good thing I did, because I didn't realize that they had switched the the rear-facing camera to the front-facing camera. I did not realize that, but I had a conversation, because this is what I like to do when they're targeting me, and I would say something to draw them in a conversation, and yeah, I'm giving them the reason, and show the next time it's not going to make a difference, because they are law enforcement officers, and they believe because they are law enforcement officers, they have a gun and a badge, that they can get away with doing whatever it is that they want to do. This is what they believe. Okay, so yeah, so this is the next morning as I'm making my way back to Pam, going to her apartment to watch the kids. Yeah, make sure that shit don't happen again. So as I was saying, so I woke up this morning because Pam called me to wake me up, and got off the phone with her. All of a sudden, you hear ambulances now, right? And I haven't heard a ambulance, police. Well, I have heard the police, but it's usually like late at night when I'm up. And this is over here by me for about 2 weeks now. Yeah, I would say. And this is what the police would do. Like if I'm up late at night, if I go to the bathroom, I hear whoop, whoop. Or if I just get up, sleep in the middle of the night. I just get up, I hear the sirens because of the remote monitoring, right? Because of the microchip. And they're trying to get away with it. And they try to silence me, okay? Which is not going to work. And I've said this before, right? Because I've been going through this for over 2 decades now, okay? And if I committed a crime, then I have the right to have to be represented in court, to face my accusers, right? But this is not about that. This is about abuse of authority and trying to manipulate someone, trying to hold someone down, trying to experiment on someone and thinking that they can get away with it.
I think it's about 2 weeks. Haven't really heard the fire truck, you know. But this morning, fire trucks and ambulances, after I got off the phone with Pam, this is around, she called around 9 o'clock, okay? And so, yeah, so this is what was happening. But anyway, like I always say, even though they switched my camera around, you know, you guys heard the interaction between me and the police. Because as I walked back, as they walked off, you know, one of them turned around, stared at me, looking at me. So I was like, you want to search me? Because the way you're looking at me, you want to search me. You know, and it's a good thing I had called out the license plate number of the vehicle they were driving. You know, so yeah.
Just speed this up.
Somebody who had the ability to kill people like that, right? And this was at night. This was late at night too.
So I was telling the story. Go back here.
This is what they're doing. They're brainwashing people. You know, there's a script that they run. It's called the Lone Gunman, the Shooter script. It's all explained on the website psychologicalharassment.com. Okay? And they do this because, again, this is fear-based trauma conditioning of the public. Right? Same tactics and methods. They try to get TIs to engage in. You know, I talk about when I was being targeted for a number of years, right? Especially particularly at my job. There was walking home one night. Okay, it's a guy I knew from high school, right? He calls me over, you know, to his car, and this was at night. This was late at night too. Actually, not late at night. It was I used to get up for work at 9:30, right? 10 o'clock. And he calls me over. You know, I haven't really spoken to this guy in years. But on that particular night, he calls me over, opens up the trunk of his car, all right? Takes out a box, and in the box, he had a brand new 9mm pistol with 2 clips, you know? And if I didn't know what was happening to me, and because I was being targeted, right, into this rage mode, right, I would have bought that gun off of him, right, if I didn't know any better. And if I was somebody who had the ability to kill people like that, right, so this is what he was doing. All right. So again, we're talking about the shooter script. This is what they do.
They just I think I talked about this. Yeah, this dude had an orange in his hand.
Right, and these idiots out here participating in this shit. Right? What if they have
with her ear? Okay, let's go forward. Let's go here.
right? And these idiots out here participating in this shit, right? What if they have, right? So this is what he was doing, right? So as I approach, you hear the person in the background talking about something, well, some blood or what have you, you know. Again, we're talking about. We talked about on the website psychologicalharassment.com, right? We talked about, and I've read a lot of these things, right? And some of the things are like trigger words, right? Trigger words, which is, let's see if I can find it here. And I'm also trying to induce certain thoughts into your mind. Identification words or trigger words, right? That's what it's called. The shooter script. This is what they do. So now you'll see something's happening here, and these two guys are walking down. And she starts to play with her ear. Gunman. Target you, isolate you, get you angry, mad enough, and then they send somebody with a gun to sell it to you. Right? So he steps out, stands up there, and then you see. And these idiots out here participating in this shit. Right? What if they have changed my personality to that type of individual? And then, you know, him with the orange in his hands. Right? How many people would have been dead, and I probably would have been dead myself. Okay? So these people walking around here thinking it's funny because, you know, I'm not that type of individual. But like many others who fuck with the wrong individual, right, and end up getting people killed, and then they walk around here like they don't bear no responsibility. Right? Because they think they do it in the psychological realm. So they think that they can get away with it. You know, I want people to listen to this message, because this is what they're doing. This is what they're doing. Right? They are brainwashing people, manipulating people. Okay. So, yeah, so I talked about on that day, which was Saturday, they were using the color orange. So the guy had the orange in his hand. I get on the bus. You'll see these two guys. And as you'll see a woman, again, she had a right. So here we go. You'll see also, yeah, they were using this Hispanic. Somebody's doing it. Look at the Hispanic girl. He's looking at the red car parked up in the bus driver. And this guy that came on with the orange shirt. And bus drive by. They'll talk about college. No, it's just contrast session. It's turning into church. You see another, again, person in orange jacket. And this is what they do. So I get off the bus. Look, he's pointing. Right? So bus. out here. Fire trucks. Ambulance. Ambulance right here. Fire truck. There they go. There they go. See what they got off my stop. Look, he's pointing. Palm fixation drill. Yeah, you turn the sirens off now. Yeah, you see me filming.
Okay. So anyway, the
pull around. He just wanna approach me. Yeah, look at that shit. Guess what? Homeless theme? Yeah? Is this the homeless theme? Yep. That's what it is. See this shit? It's the homeless theme. Look how I'm grabbing her walkie-talkie.
You'll see the paramedics lady.
Okay. Yeah? Is this the homeless theme? Yep. That's what it is. See this?
Now, reach up to
shit.
Grab her walkie-talkie while she's doing the palm fixation drill. She opens up her hands, the palm of her hands. To
homeless theme. Look how I'm grabbing her
on the walkie-talkie.
Walkie-talkie. And the white woman put her hands in her pocket. Look. Yeah, are you looking at me for? Do your fucking job. Look at that shit. So you telling me they call out the damn ambulance and fire truck? What, for a homeless woman? Come on. Fucking people are ridiculous.
They left. Obviously, the woman didn't need any help, but again, this is what they do. This is, they waste resources doing this stuff, right? So anyway, we get on the bus. We got onto Pam's block.
And an orange hat.
Orange hat. Red.
Right. So, like I said, the two color theme for the week. Well.
Okay, I missed the guy. Okay, yeah. So anyway.
Visual. All right.
The red sweater. Yeah. The red theme.
Okay. Follow behind that. There's a woman. And an orange hat.
And you see further down the block, you see the guy was standing.
So, like I said, the two color theme.
This is how they stalk you, right? But they don't do it in such a way where they follow you now. Now they know where you're going, so they'll show up. And they'll walk towards you, or they'll just stand around. When they see you, you get closer to them, they'll start walking off, either walking in the opposite direction you're walking, or in the same direction. But this is what they do, right? So I got upstairs.
Hear the fire trucks.
As soon as I got upstairs,
hear the fire trucks.
Took off my jacket.
Right. Hear the fire trucks.
This is the same day now. This is Saturday. I just got to Pam's house. Went upstairs.
As soon as I got here.
Took my jacket off.
Just walked through the door, washed my hands. There was a car honking as I was washing my hands. And then the fire truck. And the car honking again. Same honk, same car. That's the same car.
Right. So, I talked about how, you get, your ears get fine-tuned to the type of sound of the sirens or what have you, the honking. So I know when it's that particular vehicle. Right? Because it's the same sound. Okay, so again, I'm not making this up. This is what they're doing. Engaging in illegal psychological warfare, psychological experimentation, as well as technological experimentation. Now, this was Sunday night, because I spent Saturday night there. This is Sunday night as I'm leaving.
Yes.
And he asked me for one more. Now, I did a video on this guy where I was in the car waiting. He came. He stands up on the sidewalk. He takes out a stack of cash and starts counting it in front of me. Again, all these videos are on YouTube. You guys can find it. You guys can go look and see. Same individual. They'll use them over and over. So now he's asking for going to work. Now I've talked to him before, so he knows about my disability and stuff like that. So this is where they come in with them saying that that they're going to end my disability, take away my disability, and I'll have to get a job, right? Then the police now, if I'm watching a video and it talks about working and stuff like that, I'll hear police sirens. They go whoop 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 whoop, same type of sound, then that was happening,
You too.
Okay, so
it's 8 o'clock on a Sunday night. I said, you could have called her yesterday.
all right, it's talking about, you guys can watch that in the full video. So all right, as I turned, there's this guy walking.
You can't call her now and be like, hey, you bringing the kids to I said, you haven't even spoken to her since the weekend began. Why does she made plans?
Okay, so
again, look at this shit.
talk about how they use
Remember how they use music? So this whole song he's playing is something called Pussy, right? And look at his phone. Look. Right? So I know I ain't no pussy. I know they're the pussies, right? That's why they had to fuck with my phone. So because they don't want to be caught on camera doing illegal shit. So who's the pussy? Again, projection. That's what they do, TIs, to us. They try to project themselves onto us. This is what they try to do.
Okay. So then I get on the bus, and
but she's still gonna do it. I mean, she's been very sneaky about doing it lately.
And the red hat on. Okay. And then at this point is where he starts to do the palm fixation drill. Okay, now watch.
And then she got upset and she even started crying. And look him kicking on his feet.
Mm-hmm. This is what my family members do. Whenever I walk in the house and they're sitting down, they always kick their feet like that.
Alright. So yeah. Alright, I talked about that, how they love to kick their feet out. Because earlier in my targeted at my house, they had brainwash, and they conditioned my family member to do the same thing. That if we're sitting in the living room, and there's not just one person, there's multiple people that will be doing the same thing. Alright? So, yeah. Yeah, fixation. Yeah, put your hand down now. You see me hit the record button. You know what I'm saying? They don't stop. What's going on here? Now look at this shit. Look at this shit. I'm going home. Look at this.
Of course, he started doing the palm fixation drill as we were approaching Nostrand Avenue with the police there. Because again, I talk about how they do things in the third perspective, what have you. Whereas if the police are not directly targeting me, they will get surveillance to target me, and then there will be like a police following behind them. In this case, you see the police people drive off as the bus approach, the stoplight.
Look at this shit, right? Look.
So they're pretty sticky. Now watch what she's gonna do. I think it's at this point where he pinches his nose. Right? When I talk about these cult followers, these cult members, and how they put their own lives in danger. And again, because that's a cult member, right? Well, they will put their lives in danger for their leaders, right? They will protect the leaders with their own lives, okay? Because they've been so brainwashed and so manipulated. Now this is COVID. He's on the bus. People come on the bus, they cough, they touch the thing, and his hand was just on the seat. Okay, his hand was just on the seat. right? And let me zoom this in because this is important. Okay, I want to zoom that in so you guys can see it better. Okay. Now, see, he puts his hand, 4 fingers, over his mouth. Then, you see, he pinches his nose. Right? Again, I can't make this shit up, even if I wanted to. Okay? Can't do it, even if I wanted to, man. Here again. Okay. Yeah, real confrontation though. See that? Right now I'm sticking my fingers in my ears. Okay, so right now he's targeting me and I'm targeting him. Let's go. Yeah, real confrontation though. See that? Right now I'm sticking my fingers in my ears. He's doing that. So we're like battling back and forth. Okay, so the guy that just came in with the book bag, look at somebody left the side. The guy that walked, there's a guy that walked out there. He left the empty water bottle there. You guys seen the previous video that I've done with them on the water bottle, right? I talk about these things. So I get off the bus now. Again, it's a Sunday night. And same when I'm not saying this, but this one got off the bus. Same color. I've never seen this. See what I'm saying? So she walking with her hands face backwards. Right? And then you'll see them, you'll see somebody come out of a van, right? Come out of a van, jumps out. Again, that's to scare me. You know, sometimes the police will drive by and they'll snatch people up, right? This is what they're trying to build. This dude waiting over here by the Jeep, then you see the white guy over here with the dog. See that? Here you go, flashes. Now, yeah, so this guy was sitting in this car. There was a white guy walked by with a dog, and he stands up right there. Because they all work together, right? This is coordinated, right? So I was like crossing the streets, he gets out of his lights, flashes. See that shit? And the white guy over here with the dog. He was standing for the door was still open, right? So him hitting the whatever alarm in the car, what have you, the door's still open. So we know your car's not going to close unless your door's open. I mean, unless your door's closed. If your door's open, your lights will go off, but your doors will not be locked. Okay, so like I said, as I got across the street, he got out. Corner here, and he walks over. So let's see what's going on. Who else? All right. So now she's walking, and you can see how she's not. Let's see. Her hands now is going to the side. Look at this one. Look at this one. One of these young punks who to get participating and targeting me. He's looking down at his shoes. Right? And then you'll see he folds his mouth. Right? He folds his mouth. Right? And again, look at his phone, telling me to be quiet. Folding his lips. Okay. Then this guy. What's going on, man?
My brother, what's good? How you feeling, man?
I'm alright, man.
Yo, man, I can't wait to.
You know, I've talked to him about this stuff before, but you know, I mean, listen, they paid them money, so you know, they're gonna target it or whatever they're telling them, you know, to get them to participate, what have you. So he gives me a pound, and on his hand, he has a barcode tattooed on his hand, and it could be a fake tattoo because I've never seen that on his hand before, so it could be fake. Then he starts talking about he wants.
Get in your mind, man. Yeah. For real, man. Yeah, all right. Enjoy your night, man. All right, you too. All right, so as you was giving me a pound.
I mean that. I can't wait to pick that frame, man.
All right, man. Yeah. See that? So.
Okay. This is how to use the surveillance to send you type of subliminal message because you know again I am microchip, so you know I guess they're going to scan my brain.
So he was giving me a pound. He has a tattoo of a barcode on his hands. All right, and then he's talking about, see that? Now here comes the water bottle.
And these two now they were waiting in the hallway, so they see.
Moving with the water bottle. I want you guys to see this shit. No, I'm not kidding. I'm alright, man.
Let's see.
Look at them. They got the smile on their face.
Yeah, they think that shit is funny, right? That's what they do.
All right, leaving my house this morning, and these guys here, the fire trucks already.
This is Monday. This is Monday now. Okay.
All right, leaving my house this morning, and these guys here, the fire trucks already. Okay. Listen to that shit. Early in the morning, 7:30.
That's not Monday. This is today. Actually, this is today. This is today. This morning. Yeah, this was this morning. I remember this was this morning. Okay, so.
Look at the intimidation. Look at the intimidation. Right? Look at them trying to intimidate. These motherfuckers. Trying to intimidate.
And I was actually going to spend the night, but she came home and started targeting me. Right? So at that point, tonight
Yeah, all right. Leaving Pam. She came home today and, you know, started doing this strange behavior. Look, he sees he coming, he took his phone.
Yeah, there's a guy standing there, he sees me, takes his phone out of his pocket.
Look at him. Right? Tell you, they never fail, right? They're staying up there waiting and shit. So yeah.
Watch what happens. See, he turns, and the reason why he's turned because now they're doing what is called the air fixation, right? So sometimes they'll do that. It's called the air fixation. They'll do the palm fixation drill, the air fixation drill. Then he's going to stick his pinky out, right? He try to be slick about it.
Yeah.
Then he puts his pinky back. Yeah, exposing their shit, you know. You think that they're slick.
Let's try some shit. And when the shit don't work out, like I said, they try the homeless skit, the mental illness skit over and over again. They try these shits over and over again. Right? Because that is a coercive persuasion program. Right? That's what that is.
It's a Hispanic dude, light-skinned Hispanic dude. Again, because they've been trying to send me a subliminal message about Ethan not being my son because he's too light-skinned. He's lighter than both me and Pam. And so they use these Hispanic dudes that are light-skinned, right, or her ex, to try to insinuate that he's not my son. But you know, they've tried that with my other son for years, you know. But I already took a DNA test, so you know, the test came back saying 99% he's mine. That's what I go by. Whether they F with the test or give me whatever result they want to give me, hey, that's fine by me. That's what the test says, right? And if they did that, then a lot of men in America better start going and getting paternity tests done for their children, okay? So, yeah, they keep fucking around like that. Let's see what happens.
Don't be looking at me. You're looking at me, looking at the...
She takes out her purse.
The dude crossing across the street.
And he's looking at the gray car pass by. It's again trying to insinuate that if I have money, if I get my disability check, then, you know, they're no longer going to remain neutral or what have you, and such, right?
Okay. So yeah.
She's counting money.
Okay, man, you need to show me your money. You can't take the bus with $1. See? See what she does? Right? You can't take the bus with $1 or $2 or have you. When she's counting money in front of me. I'll go home. There you go. Right? And there she is. See, I tell you, I always do that shit. I always send people to count money in front of me. This is nothing new. Right? This is nothing new.
Right? Okay. So I get on the bus and
the pharmacy is probably closed. So I can't even go in there. Look at her. Look at her. Yeah, see this one here playing with her here. Look. Making the video. You ain't win shit. Y'all in victorious and shit. Y'all don't win shit. Please. Yeah, so look at this dude now. Look at him. He loves to do that shit. Right, so look, we're gonna walk up this way. So I want you guys to see.
I get off the bus stop, start walking. They ran this street there with these individuals. Then I see flashing lights. I was like, okay, there's 5 trucks.
Alright. I want you guys to see.
They're always staging some shit. They are always staging some shit. So I want you to see this. And you
walk. Right? Look. Yeah. Put your mask down. Yeah.
They want me to pull my mask down. So this is what they do. This is how
they
try to...
They're psyops. Right? I'll show you guys the extent of their psyops.
If the police was looking for me, they have a warrant for me, they don't need me to pull my mask down. They can come knock on my door. They know where I'm at, and they know anything about me. So either one. So they know that. But it is to create this persecutory belief in your mind, right? To try to make you sound delusional and try to diagnose you with paranoid delusion and schizophrenia and all this other stuff, right?
A red vehicle, stick in this thing.
So as you see,
get in this. Yeah. Nope. Right, see, red vehicle pulse, stick in this thing in his ears. Yeah, they know I'm going to.
No.
And they will stay shit. Now look at, yeah. Paramedics. Oh, that's it, is stage. Come on. Look at this shit. Look at all of this, right? Look. He hits the side front of the passenger car, right?
You guys can watch the individual video, which I did. But anyway, so they're standing there. Now, watch things goes into motion. Let's go back.
Look at this shit.
Again, if I don't explain.
So as soon as I walk up here, police.
Yeah, as soon as I walk.
So as soon as I walk up here, police. Our police car's leaving. This one's leaving. What, is it supposed to be an accident or something? Right? Let me see how bad this is. As you can tell, look, he comes out of his vehicle. Right? Look, see, he comes out of his vehicle.
Right, the guy that was in the BMW right here. Right, as I approach, he comes out of his vehicle.
Right? And they will stay shit. Now look at it. Yeah.
And you see the cop across the street.
Paramedic. Oh, that's to the stage. Come on. Look at this shit. Look at all of this, right? Look. He hits the side front of the passenger car, right? The side front. Right? Yeah, this one.
So now all of a sudden he comes out now, and now he wants to take pictures. Now all this time he is sitting in the vehicle. Remember, I am all the way down the block. Right? Remember that. I am all the way down the block, walking up. Right? Walking up. All the firefighters are standing there. Some of the EMTs is over by this car talking to the person in there. The cops are all hanging around, right? But as soon as I approach and stop right there, is now he wants to get out of his vehicle.
Yeah. He hits the side front. Look, why they all standing there like that, right? Exactly. Listen, why they all, like I tell you, they'll do shit like this because you know why? You know why? They're gonna get a brand new car out of it. This is all part of this shit. Look, they're all just standing around.
What are they discussing? Right?
What are they doing? Now look at the cops come over here. Look at the cops. Look, oh no, you can't. No, you decided to come over here. Yeah. Right? Look.
Yeah, that's close though, man.
Watch this coming. But alright, I want you guys to look at this shit. So look.
Okay. So now he looks over as the bus passed. The cops is now pointing to me.
Look at the cop pointing. Yeah, I know. Like I said, this shit is staged. She's pointing over to me, right? When the bus moves. This shit is staged. Look at the little look. Yes.
There was a. Let me go back slightly. A little bit more.
Right? Exactly. Listen, why they all, like I tell you, they'll do shit like this because you know why? You know why? They're gonna get a brand new car out of it. This is all part of this shit. Look, they're all just standing around. What are they doing? Now look at the cops come over here. Look at the cops. Look, oh no, you can't. No, you decided to come over here. Yeah. She's pointing over. Watch this coming. But alright, I want you guys to look at this shit. So look, now you pointing. Look at the cop pointing. Yeah, I know.
Pass by.
Like I said, this shit is staged. She's pointing over to me, right? When the bus moves. This shit is staged.
Alright, speaker right here.
Look at her.
Now you see her. Can't really make out, but she had her hands again, 4 fingers. What they love to do.
Look. Yes. The passenger side. Look, she gets her walking. Look at the 4 fingers on her. Look. Palm fixation. Look, palm fixation. I told you guys.
And then let me adjust this image. This stuff is important. Now, you'll see the cop. Like I said, they try to be sneaky and try to mask their shit. This is what they're trying to do.
Right? Plan this shit. All this shit is strategic.
Now look at how they just
right? Look. Bus is coming. But all right, I want you guys to look at this shit. So look, now you pointing. Look at the cop pointing. Yeah, I know. Like I said.
And as they walk off, they try to make it seem natural. You'll see the palm fixation drill here.
Shit is staged. You see,
right?
He's pointing over to me, right? When the bus moves. This shit is staged. Look at the little look. Yes, the passenger side. Look.
Now the passenger.
She gets a walk.
And you see how she has her hands on her chest with 4 fingers. All right, I'm gonna go back just slightly. Let me see.
And that they will go through. And I'm telling you guys.
Okay, that's a little too. All right, I'll watch.
She's pointing over to me, right? When the bus moves.
All right, so now it's a signal. She's standing there now. Camera's back in that position because they started to move.
To the stage. Look at the little look. Yes.
Right, she grabbed her boobs. Then you see her come up and put 4 fingers on her chest.
The passenger side, look, she gets it walking. Look at
then
the 4 fingers on her.
There you go, palm fixation. But again, trying to make it seem like you can tell the shit is staged. I mean, this is what she explained to the paramedics. Yeah, the paramedics, they didn't put on the gurney, right? They didn't do that. Okay. Right?
Look, palm fixation. Look, palm fixation. I told you guys. They plan.
Now watch.
And
as they all start walking together. They all start walking together. See? Palm fixation again. Right? Got a firefighter right here. Palm fixation and drill.
This shit is strategic. They're gonna get a brand new vehicle out of this shit.
And again, he turns around so I can see his service weapon. All right.
This is the extent that they will go through, and I'm telling you guys this, okay?
And they can say, "Oh, you know, he's just assuming these things." No, this has been done to me over and over again for years, for decades. Okay, over a decade, going on 2 decades. Right? When I will come home from work, they will have 2 police officers, black guy in handcuffs. As soon as they see me, they turn the guy around so I can see his hand behind his back with the handcuff. Then the officers will turn around and then look at me and put their hands on their service weapon.
I am telling you guys this. Right? Look, there's nobody on that stretcher. They've been standing here.
They've been standing there for the longest while. But again,
they're for the past 10 minutes doing that shit. Right? Now I guess after the program, they run the program, they're all gonna leave now. Look. They're all running the program. See? That's why I have to explain this shit to you guys. Right? I've said this before, I've seen this before. Where they stage accidents on the highway just so that they can target me. Right?
Right. I mean, seriously, this is the shit. And then you start to see them do the hand signal. And I was explaining to this guy. So now he's talking.
For 10 minutes, just standing there. Right? Yeah, just standing there. Okay? This shit is unbelievable. Shit, I dropped my earbuds. Yep. Yeah, man, they had so much. I mean, they were literally just standing there, just like, okay, you know, like literally fucking standing there and shit.
Yeah. Remember too, they'll mix up these because they know how they condition me. They know how they condition me. So these things might seem normal and natural to those who don't know, right? But I've studied this program, and this is the reason why I'm able to explain it the way I explained it. Okay.
And on top of that, look at this shit. Let's tell you shit that make no sense. Look at how this car is turned.
I was just talking to the guy, but I want to get to this particular part where you'll see this officer comes back. He's standing there.
Right? Always some sort of accident. Right?
Right? And he stands there, hands in his pocket, but his pinky finger is out.
Always some sort of accident. And then you see the cop, you see he put his pinky finger out down like that. That's a hand signal. Hand signal. And part of a cult.
And then he turns around. Okay, then he looks over at me. Right? See that? Looking directly over at me.
You know, but secret societies, they stay shit like that when they target people. Right? That's what they do. They stay shit like that. Look at her. Look at the paramedic. She sticks her. She does the same thing with her pinky finger. Right? Because I want you to see this shit, because a lot of black people don't understand what's going on. They stay shit like that when they target people. Right? That's what they do. They stay shit like that. Look at her. Look at
she's like
the paramedic. She sticks her. She does the same thing with her pinky finger.
But let's look at the cops, because they all walked off. Whenever they do these type of hand signals, you'll start to see them walking off. Right? Okay, look.
The paramedic. She sticks her.
Look. All right, so the officer in the middle, he's staring directly.
He does the same thing with her
Then they start pointing. They
pinky
start walking off.
Finger.
All right.
Right.
Look at them.
Right.
And then you see, look, he does the white power sign. See that? That's the white power sign. And that's why I say black people don't understand the shit that they gotten themselves into, participating in this shit. These are white supremacists, and they've actively got you engaged into destroying the life of another black person, but you don't really understand what's going on. So this is the white supremacist hand signal with the three fingers, how they, you know, I can't even do it because the webcam is off.
Because I want you to see this shit, because a lot of black people don't understand what's going on, right? There are people like me who are being targeted by the state just for being outspoken black people. You know what I'm saying? Just because,
so now you come with the hand
because we understand what's going on.
And again, see, they have the black woman here, right? These are two white dudes with the black woman here. And what they're saying is that, you know, we control your woman. You don't control your woman. We control your woman. We can get them to participate and do whatever. We can use them against you, right? And this is what they're doing, right? Many people don't want to listen to what I have to say, particularly black men who participate in this shit. But 10 years from now, you're going to understand.
In this society today against us as black people. And the sad shit about it too is that they're using us against each other, particularly black women against black men. You know what I'm saying? And these black women, because they're getting jobs and getting good pay, now they feel like they're better than us as men.
See? I want you guys to check this out.
Us against each other, particularly black women against black men. You know what I'm saying? And these black women, because
she sticks his finger. Damn, I wish
because they get
shut in the camera like that. There you go. Palm fixation drill.
Jobs
around
and getting good.
See that? As he raises his hands to put it behind his back.
Pay. Now they feel like they're better than us as men, right? Now, it's the truth, man. You see this shit. Now they feel like they're better than us, right? Because you know what? They have an education, right? But what they don't understand, that this is all part of the plan, right?
Okay. Yep. And you guys can watch the standalone video as I talked about this. Okay, so let me move on. And you'll see one of the same.
Woman went to bed. You know, and I keep telling him, I said, never mind the fact. Oh, now he comes down. Right? So now he comes down wearing a red hoodie. Okay? Like I said, I'm glad I'm able to
like I said,
record this shit because people don't believe me.
This is what's going on is that
And
they have convinced the public, right, of whatever it is that they're trying to convince them about you. But what they don't tell the public is the covert tactics they use against you, the manipulation, the brainwashing, the drugging, the use of mind control technology, all these things they don't want to tell you, right? Because they understand that how they have conditioned the public to not ask questions, to not be critical thinkers, but to follow. They can create an enemy. And Malcolm X said it. They will turn against the people who's trying to wake them up and educate them. And they will love the people who are oppressing them. Okay? And we see this. And particularly now that they use our women and they use the jobs. Even, as black women gets older, they tend to earn more than black men. Right? That's the trend. Right? Now, which group of people, other than black men and women, that has happened to? As white women get older, do they earn more than white men? No. When Asian women get older, do they earn more than Asian men? No. When Hispanic women get older, do they earn more than Hispanic women? No. Only black men and black women and the black people in general, and where you have the women, as they get older, earn more than the men. Understand that. There are those of us who can see that, who can understand that, but we are made the enemy. This is a war against people who actually understand what's going on in the system and trying to make other people up. All this other bullshit they trying to say or whatever, it's all bullshit. And they have proven that people will believe in the bullshit and they will engage in the destruction, particularly black people, of one another. Right? Now they may say, well, we have white TIs also. Yes. Okay? I'm not going to take anything away from white TIs. But we know in America, okay, that the vast majority of people who are targeted, whether TI or not, are black people. Period. All right? And again, that's not negating any other TI, but I said the vast majority of people who are targeted are black people. Okay? So with that said, I want to say have a good night. And actually, before I go, let me so let me talk about this website. This is very important. Go to this website, read up about it, read up about the fear-based conditioning, read up about those things, such as anger and verbal dialogue to shut your brain down. All these things, man, they've used, they continue to use the beneficial intention to deceive victims, saying that if you stop talking about your targeting, they're going to give you money and such in order to shut you up, right? So it's particularly this one here, where it talks about ideation to manipulate victims, beneficial intention to deceive victims, beneficial intention, the failure strategy, beneficial intention, the never-ending test. And it's funny too because Sunday night, late, not late, but I was sleeping Sunday night. Pam says to me, she was like, "Oh, my uncle says that you should get your stimulus check this week because of some mix-up." Now, her uncle is the one, like I said, that I had wanted him to talk to her about trying to get the kids to school on time because I couldn't get into school because I was in school myself, and I would get the kids dressed, I would feed them, and all she had to do was I would wake up, and all she had to do was take them to school. That's it. She didn't have to do nothing else. They were dressed, they were fed, and she was hiding the letters from the school about their lateness. And when I would go pick them up, the teachers were telling me that, oh, you got to get the kids here on time. And I wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't throw her under the bus like she did my daughter, blame it on my daughter. And so I speaking to her uncle about it, and he goes and he calls her mother and tell her mother that I don't love Pam. Because same thing with her mother. When I talked about her mother, it's like, you have to please talk to her about, you know, clean up and keeping a clean home. They all take that as me attacking her. And it's not attacking her. I mean, look, anyway. But this is what we do as black people, particularly older black people. They've been telling us bullshit lies, filling our head up with nonsense, or be this way and this and that. And this shit's not working out, right? Instead of telling young people the truth, we want to sugarcoat shit to the point where as they grow up to become adult, they think it's okay to live in a messy house. They think it's okay to be lazy and not do nothing. They think it's okay to be in a relationship and, cheat. They say, well, we're not married, so I can cheat and see what I want. Well, really? You're in a relationship, and so because you're not married, they feel that they can cheat because you're not married. I mean, this is the type of bullshit that they feed into the minds of young people. And as young people get older, they start believing that bullshit. And then from there, their relationship goes down, their personality goes down. So understand what's going on. Okay? I'm talking to black people in general. Understand what's going on. Stop being a puppet.